Hi, my name is Ritesh Patel, and I lead products at Nirmata. Let's talk about a scenario we see very often. A developer builds Claude code into a container image and deploys it in your Kubernetes cluster. Now, this application has access to the service accounts, your secrets, as well as access to kubectl, so it can make any API calls to your Kubernetes cluster. But the pod is admitted without any issues. What you don't see is that the agent running in the pod makes 47 MCP tool calls, has read multiple secrets, and run a command to get node information. None of this shows up in the audit log. This is what we call the AI control gap. So in this talk, we'll discuss how AI is changing the way governance is done on your infrastructure. So let's first look at how the applications are changing. Traditional workloads are very deterministic because at code, looking at the code, you can tell exactly what APIs are being called, what database is being accessed, and the blast radius is relatively well known. Agents are not the same. Agent behavior changes based on the prompt received. Based on the prompt, agent reasons and decides what to do next. And that may involve making a kubectl call or writing a database. And this really increases your blast radius quite a bit at runtime. Every request could be a completely different decision tree. And that's the challenge we are dealing with now with AI. So if you look at the enforcement layers when it comes to your workloads, you have three different layers. The agent plane is where your agents are running. This is where potential prompt injection could cause real damage if you don't have the right enforcement. Inference plane is all about accessing models and making sure only governed models or only allowed models can be accessed and there is no data leakage. And the other layer is your software supply chain. This is where you can actually look at the code and identify what your agents, how your agents are going to behave beforehand. You can identify what frameworks are being used, what tool calls are going to be made, and based on that, you can allow or deny agents and those workloads in your cluster. So today we are going to look a little bit more closely at the supply chain layer and see how you can use enforcement, policy enforcement at that layer to prevent agents from making into your clusters, especially the ones that are not well known and well recognized. So we often see, in security teams, uh, you know, when they look at the supply chain or software supply chain, usually they rely heavily on detection to kind of take a specific action. But that doesn't work anymore when it comes to AI and AI agents, right? If you look at this picture here, you can see as soon as an agent, as soon as the prompt is injected into an agent with some malicious instructions, it can immediately start causing damage. So by the time your security tools realize what's happening, the damage is already done. And some of this, in a lot of cases, this is non-recoverable, right? It's you cannot undo this damage. So increasingly, even if the time to detection is small, um, it doesn't prevent the issue from happening, right? It doesn't prevent the damage from being done. So that's really where enforcing and using policies and policy based governance really helps. One thing that is changing when it comes to AI is the pace at which models and the frameworks are evolving, and the patterns, especially AI software development patterns, are emerging, right? So that's um, it's very hard to predict what's going to come next. But the nice thing is you have a control plane. If you're using Kubernetes, you have a well-recognized, well-known control plane. This is where most of your agents are going to land. And the advantage of having this proven control plane is it has built-in capabilities, built-in hooks like admission control, where you can apply various policies to ensure governance for your agents, right? So in this talk, we'll look at how policies can be enforced at Kubernetes admission to prevent unknown or unrecognized agents from entering your clusters. So one of the things that kind of you need to understand is with AI and with agents, there is something called AI bill of material, right? So if you're familiar with software bill of material, which describes all of the libraries and the packages being used in your software, in traditionally it has been used to secure the software supply chain. But that doesn't really help when it comes to AI agents, right? So now with AI, you need another set of information. For example, which frameworks the agent is using, the tools that the agent is calling, the model that the agent will be using, and so on, right? And that now becomes your bill of material, which you can use to describe the agent and then actually identify the agent and identify the agent characteristics at deploy time. So the way this would work is in your software pipeline, you first use AI bill of materials to scan your code, code repository, create that bill of material, which includes models, tools, framework, attach that file, which is typically a JSON file, attach that and store it in your Git repo, right? So attestation is very common. Signing it through cosign and making sure that it's not tampered with, and then pushing it to your repo. Now, once you do that, you can actually create policies. And Kyverno is a pretty popular Kubernetes policy engine. So you can create Kyverno policies, which can actually detect any agents or workloads that do not meet your requirements. So, for example, if there's no attestation available, you can deny that workload for entering. If the workload is using a prohibited tool, which you can detect through the AI bill of material, you can again deny access. Same thing if it's using a model that is not approved, right? So all of these are examples of how you can actually use AI bill of materials along with policies to deny, unknown, unrecognized agents from entering your infrastructure. And the nice thing about it is these are the same policies that you're used to using common expression language. And it's just now being applied. They're just being applied to agents instead of your traditional workloads. So what does this change in terms of various stakeholders, right? So from a developer's perspective, there's not really much change because they don't really need to worry about the AI bill of materials. That's something that happens in your CI/CD pipeline. And the only time developer needs to kind of get involved is if a scan fails, if a policy is violated, then the developer needs to fix that, right? So, but it's a familiar workflow. Developers have done that, when working with Kubernetes and microservices for a long time. So there's no difference here. From a platform engineer standpoint, basically it's just making sure that the enforcement activates, the policies are in place, and getting that real-time view through the policy reports, right? So they can clearly identify which workloads, which agents were denied, and which were allowed, and have peace of mind that only the ones that met the policy were allowed. From a CISO or an auditor perspective, that gives them visibility into overall compliance posture, visibility into ensuring controls are actually implemented and enforced, right? Whether it's various like a SOC 2 framework or some other frameworks. So it makes it easy for them to ensure compliance and prove compliance, which is typically not that straightforward. So let's look at some of the guardrails that you can immediately start applying, right? You can block unattested agent images. This is pretty straightforward. You probably already do that, for software bill of materials. You can extend that to AI bill of materials. So if there's no attestation, the pod doesn't get deployed, or the image doesn't is not allowed. You can also enforce approved frameworks, right? If your organization has decided on specific frameworks like the Anthropic SDK or LangChain, you can put that in the allow list and deny other frameworks. You can do something similar for tools, prohibiting MCP tool calls, especially tool calls that could be disruptive and that could potentially be misused. Those can be disallowed. And then, if you've decided on specific models, you can create an allow list and then, ensure that other models are not used by your agents, right? So I think these are the main policies. And then just because of the fact that you have a policy engine or Kubernetes deployed, you automatically know which agents are deployed. You get that report through the policy report, and you also get information about what those agents are, how those agents are built, what frameworks they're using, what tools they're using, and so on, right? So you automatically get that visibility into those agents just by implementing policies and enforcing AI bill of materials as part of your agent images, right? So that's really what can be done pretty quickly without a lot of heavy lifting. So we talked about applying or enforcing policies, and checking the AI bill of materials. But that's while that's a good start, it's not enough, right? There is things. Agents are dynamic in nature. They there is runtime scans and runtime enforcement that needs to be done. Sometimes these agents may not, it may not be possible to easily detect which tools these agents are using if those tools are configured at runtime. So maybe AI bill of material doesn't catch it. So there are some of those challenges you still need to address. And while this space is evolving and new solutions are emerging, you can potentially still apply your policies and Kubernetes at runtime, right? And that's probably a topic for another discussion. But stay tuned and watch out this space. There's lots of exciting things happening, and we'll probably reserve this for another talk. So just to recap, Kubernetes admission controls are super important, and even more so for agent governance, right? You can use your existing controls, your existing policies, but now extend that to agents by adding more policies around AI bill of materials, and checking and allowing only known agents we built on known frameworks, and using well-defined tools into your infrastructure. The policies that you would use, there's no change there. The same, policies based on cell. You deploy them in the same way. You get the reports the same way. So none of that changes. So you can leverage your existing infrastructure, your existing investments in Kubernetes, policy framework, your CI/CD tools, but now get complete, a new enforcement layer for AI agents and govern AI agents proactively. We've created an example on this topic. The GitHub repo link is on this slide. We also have talked about it in a blog post. So check it out, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and if you're trying to solve this problem, and if there's any way we can help you. With that, thanks a lot. Bye bye.